Oui, ça va.
Oui, merci. Les entreprises qui présentent tout à l'heure, savez-vous si les sessions vont commencer tout de suite ou un peu plus tard?
Une très bonne question. Aucune idée. Je crois qu'on est les seuls ici qui est sur
Allô, bonjour.
pour cette session.
Je pense que oui.
Au Somalia maintenant. Oui, ok,
parfait,
parfait.
vous êtes présent.
Oui,
Nous sommes 3 maintenant?
oui.
Génial. Ça commence à se remplir.
OK.
Vous allez bien?
Ça va,
Oui,
oui.
oui.
Mais est-ce qu'il faut peut-être dire sur le chat? Il faut dire que les sessions vont commencer sur le chat.
Je vais écrire sur le chat à Montreal New Tech.
Hani, on te voit pas en vertical, mais en horizontal.
Mais c'est ça que j'essaie de régler, Somalia. Je ne sais pas qu'est-ce que je pourrais faire. C'est aucune idée. Comment je pourrais faire la rotation?
L'orientation.
Oui. Écoute,
Est-ce que la vidéo en ce moment, c'est seulement pour les présentateurs ou je n'étais pas certaine si je devais ajouter.
J'imagine que oui, mais. Jean-Philippe, toi qui es modérateur, tu peux peut-être nous aiguiller.
je crois que Jean-Philippe, il n'est pas ici avec nous.
Ah, OK.
Non. Est-ce que quelqu'un peut envoyer à Catherine, n'est-ce pas? C'est Catherine qui est supposée présenter.
Oui, j'ai envoyé un courriel, Somalia, à toi, Catherine et Jean-Philippe, qu'on a déjà
Oui,
commencé
c'est
à...
ça. Oui, c'est
Ok.
vrai. Merci beaucoup.
Ok. Jean-Philippe, tu es ici? Jean-Philippe?
Est-ce que tu peux m'entendre, Alexandre?
Oui, on t'entend aussi.
Très bien, Jean-Philippe.
Excellente. Bon, ça va être c'est une bonne question. Théoriquement, on devrait finir là. Donc, je ne sais même pas qui va être présent, qui ne le sera pas. Donc,
On improvise.
ouais, ça
Mais
va être pas
j'envoie une
mal ça.
note,
Ça va être, on va y aller à Capella, comme on dit. J'avais même préparé mes cartes, puis tout, là, tu sais, regarde, mais là, il est à l'envers. Fait que là, j'ai improvisé, fait que j'ai dit, il reste une minute.
OK, c'est bien.
C'est pour ça qu'on appelle ça un dry run. Ça va être dry aujourd'hui.
Ça va être très dry.
Malheureusement, Jean-Philippe, ma photo est en position
donc,
verticale
si,
ici. Je ne peux rien faire ici. Je ne sais pas, j'essaie de
Martin
résoudre
est
ça.
là.
Ça l'aide à s'étirer le coup au moins. Ça, c'est
Oui,
bon.
Ouais,
je
non,
sais,
c'est
je
ça,
sais.
exact, c'est vrai.
Mais écoute, je veux bloquer ça ici simplement pour ne pas avoir de la peine pour vous autres.
Même les deux qui load. Parce que normalement, il faut avoir plus d'options que ça. Sinon. Ouais, non, il n'y aura pas grand-chose qui va se passer. Ah, ok, ça c'est bon.
Bonjour Gabriel. Hi Gabriel.
Salut, ça va?
Oui, super. Comment?
Oui, super bien. Français-anglais pour...
Je crois que ça risque d'être en anglais.
Okay. Non,
Ouais, c'est très bilingue, on a les deux. Sur notre,
Okay.
Théoriquement, dans notre groupe, il y a les deux.
Écoute, j'ai essayé toutes les choses ici, ça ne fonctionne pas.
Donc, on a Catherine won't be able to make it.
Oh, I see, OK.
Toi, Alexandre, est-ce que tu peux entendre les autres?
Je crois que oui.
OK. Donc, moi, je vois aucune autre personne qui sont sur notre stage. Je les entends pas non plus. Sauf toi.
Est-ce qu'on doit se loguer justement pour les personnes qui devaient présenter? C'est ça que je n'étais pas certaine, si on devait attendre chacun notre tour ou si c'était tout en même temps. Ou, enfin, ouais.
Alexandre, est-ce que tu es le modérateur?
Non, je crois que c'est Jean-Philippe le modérateur.
Le Jean-Philippe.
Moi, j'ai...
Jean-Philippe? Jean-Philippe?
Salut Félix.
Bonjour à vous, Alexandre.
Donc, Jean-Philippe, il n'est pas capable de nous entendre?
Et Mustapha doit être aussi avec nous.
Et Catherine vient de dire qu'elle ne sera pas avec nous.
Oui.
Bon.
Voilà.
Bonjour tout le monde.
Bonjour.
Ouais, c'est ça, je vous voyais pas. Je voyais juste
Maintenant,
Alexandre.
Vous pouvez nous entendre, c'est ça?
Ouais, maintenant tout est bon, je vous vois et je vous entends. Donc, sinon, c'est un peu difficile au niveau modérateur si je voyais juste une personne puis je vous entendais même pas. Donc,
Catherine a dit qu'elle ne pourra pas nous joindre.
Exact. Donc, je vois 1, 2, 3, 4, c'est bon. Ça, on va commencer avec ceux qu'on a là, puis on va y aller, comme on appelle ça, un peu a cappella. Donc, ceux nous aiment et on reste avec nous, on va embarquer. Donc, on va faire la programmation. Encore une fois, le but, c'est de partager tout ce qu'on a fait, discuter, ouvrir des discussions autour de ça. Puis,
Jean-Philippe, c'est
oui.
Annie. Est-ce qu'on connaît exactement combien de participants on a dans cette session?
Oui, en ce moment, on a 16 personnes.
OK. Mustapha, est-ce que Mustapha participe parce qu'il a ma présentation avec Alejandro et puis on essaie beaucoup ici à partager l'écran. J'ai la présentation toujours sur mon ordinateur. Je vais essayer de la partager, peut-être ça fonctionne, mais ça n'a pas fonctionné ce matin. Simplement pour vous dire.
OK. Donc, Alejandro, do you have the presentation or Mustafa, I think it's in the back anyway?
I don't have the presentation. My computer is like occupied
Mustafa
with...
has it. Mustafa just
Okay.
joined and he has
I
it.
have it.
Mustafa
I have
Thank
has
you,
it.
Mustafa.
Hey guys. Okay. Do we wait for other people to come in before we start?
Well, at this point,
I think that you can start.
Yeah.
I might leave just in a minute or so I just wanted to apologize. There were some issues with the platform. It was not Montreal-Tech, their server of the platform was down. So we'll see how to make it up on a later date. Meantime, I'm glad that all of you got together on this day, and I'm hoping that you enjoy the time with Jean-Philippe and the rest.
If I may just add one more thing, Sumaya had a very good recommendation, which was to post on the general event to say that everything is restored. I haven't seen the notifications, so I think it could be good to bring.
We will do so.
Actually, it should be in the networking, because everyone went to the networking after when you said that the sessions are not open, everyone went to the networking. And the expo. This is the two that are open now. So
Yes.
if you can announce it on the chat of networking and expo.
Yeah, I'll take that in consideration. I'll talk to my team and hope we will do something about it. Thank you very much for your patience.
Jean-Philippe, as a moderator, do you know if NGen and Skill AI's member are part of the discussion?
I'm just reaching out to them right now.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get them there. They were supposed to be, but everything got a little bit scattered, but let me just get back to them.
Bon, bonjour Félix. Félix, ça va bien, Félix?
Ça va bien, toi, Jean-Philippe?
Oui, merci. Toi, Alexandre, ça va bien?
Très bien, Jean-Philippe, et content d'être à quelques mètres de toi au
Exact.
Centech.
On est au-delà de 2, mais c'est bon. On est vrai qu'on n'est pas très loin.
Exact, exact.
Donc, bonjour, professeur Soumaya. Ça va
Bonjour.
bien?
Oui, ça va.
Oui. Bonjour, Annie, ça va bien?
Bonjour, oui, ça va très bien, merci.
Bonjour, Annie, ça va bien? Bonjour, Gabriel. Hi, Gabriel.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Mustafa. You can still
I can say
you're
hi
part
to
of
you.
the show now.
Okay, I'm just gonna get off really quickly and try to get if the relevant people in. I'll be back.
Good.
I don't have any. I can't see the screen. Do you have the same problem?
In terms of you're not seeing everybody?
Yes, I'm not seeing everybody. You know, I mean, the screen is distorted. So I'm gonna quit and maybe log in again.
Okay. Félix, faut peut-être cacher tes enfants. Là.
Désolé, je n'étais pas capable de réparer ma photo, alors je ne sais pas qu'est-ce qui se passe ici. Est-ce que vous m'entendez au moins? Vous m'entendez?
Oui, on t'entend très bien.
Ok, parfait. Alors je vais éliminer la photo.
Les enfants, can you stop screaming because I have a meeting.
Kids being playful. That's good. It's nice summer day. So
Yeah, nice summer. But we had a very nice storm with a lot of rain a few hours ago.
Yeah.
So my granddaughters, they were splashing each other. Then they went to the house and they came back now to continue their battle with water.
Okay, so JP,
sir.
KLI won't be joining us. I just talked to them. They are, the person was in the room, and then with the delays, we lost him. And Helen has joined us now. I'm still gonna reach out to Jen, see if I can get her on. I'll let you guys be in the middle.
All right. So yeah, okay. Keep me posted if she can. Yeah, if she's still there, Jen. Otherwise, even she's not necessarily speaking at first, but we could even start anyway with on the research pitch. So with Professor Sumaya and Professor Hani Mustafa as well. So.
Okay. All right.
Alrighty. So, hi there. Good yourself. Sounds good. Yeah, sounds good. So basically, because there's a lot of delay, let's put it. So because we were just about to start everything. So basically, we'll take that. Actually, some of it will be answered along the way, because there's one major partner that could be helping you guys, even about us. It's like at Centech, for example. You can go, let's say, in the expo session and ask for information there. But Centech, this is what we do. We have different actually here entrepreneurs for doing who've been part. So if we talk about Alexandre, Felix, Annie, they all been part of it. So yes, that's one, especially for like your field of expertise. That's what we do, like to companionship and stuff, like to help you guys with our two programs. So at Centech. So yeah. Good. So we'll just start our session with our research pitch. I welcome you just to stay and listen to everything that you have to say, like in that field. And basically, we'll and if you have further question, please don't hesitate to do it in the chat or come back in. It's like I will be moderating it, so we can bring in all the new questions. All right. All right. Thank you. Bon. So let's start. If hopefully NGen will be there for a quick chat, but we can then start with everything. So basically, I don't know. Yeah, Mustafa, sorry, you're there. Did you any feedback, updates?
And Patrick, can we mute all the everyone that is not the speaker? Good.
Oui, je vais faire ça.
Yeah. So in regards to NGen, they're on the way, coming soon.
Okay, parfait.
Okay.
So all right, so let's start. So if they come soon, they'll be right on point.
Right. You going with Professor Hani?
Yeah, so if Professor Annie wants to just start like his presentation,
I will
because
put it on.
now that you're there. So I'll mute everybody in the meantime, so it's normal if we don't hear you. There we go. So the floor is yours, Professor Hani.
Mustafa, can you put my presentation?
Yes.
Thank you. Is it on the screen now? I can see it on the screen. Is it on the screen?
On the screen.
I don't know. I mean, I see all the picture and not.
Can anyone else see it?
Yeah, it's just very small.
Yeah, exactly. It is not the. It's not the full
You need to double click on
Double
it.
click on it,
Yeah.
it's going to be bigger.
It is double clicked and maximized.
I see the picture with it, Mustafa. So that's why I was like, I'm not able to see it all.
I have maximized it.
Because right now it's included as a participant as opposed to the presentation itself.
Yeah, I don't know how to go from here.
Okay, let me try again.
Yes, please. I can see it on the. I can see all the picture and the presentation. So it's not full screen for me.
Is it full screen now?
No, I see all the picture. I don't know about the other participant. Can you see the picture of the participant as well as the presentation, or only the presentation?
Yeah, I can see both of them, but the presentation is maximized on my end.
Yeah, it is maximized. We have to click twice on the picture, and
Yeah,
it
can
will
you double tap on?
Yeah, I did that already. Maybe Hani needs to do that.
Yeah.
You have to do it on our side, okay.
And you have it. Oh, okay, so si on ferme toutes nos caméras, so if we did close all our cameras, maybe the thing, so if you guys, we'll see. Boom. So does it change anything?
No. No.
No, I think what needs to be done, I think, is really double click on the.
Vas-y, on dit là, Alex, je t'ai mis, Alexandre, je t'ai mis en mute, c'est pour ça.
No, right. I just said I think what needs to be done is on your side, Mr. Mustafa, is really to double click on the screen share.
Yeah, Alex. I'm doing that already, and I can see it maximized. I don't know why you guys don't see it maximized.
But
on my side, I see it maximized.
Okay.
I don't see it at all. I see. I was seeing it before, but not now.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see the. I have.
Yes.
I have it up.
Yes. Now. Yes. Now we can see it.
Yes. Okay. Fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So next slide.
Okay. Should I go next?
Next slide, please. Okay, I guess this is a. Can you guys hear me, or is there an echo?
There is an echo.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you hear me? Okay. This program started in 2018 as a request of Siemens to have an integrated Industry 4 technology program, which involved the design aspect as well as the manufacture, as well as the supply chain. So it is the first program which integrates all the Industry 4 technology into an enterprise. Because as we know, it is more a digital enterprise. I mean, I'm sure you are aware that at the last Hanover meeting, Siemens now are not using anymore Industry 4.0, but more digital enterprise. And with the COVID now here, we're going to be talking about digital as well as virtual enterprise. Next slide. Can you hear me well?
There's a bit of echo, but it's good.
Okay, because I can hear myself and that's a problem.
So do you have 2 devices? So just mute one.
Which one?
Well, because if you have 2 devices, maybe that's why you have that. You have a feedback.
Okay. Okay, as long as you can hear me. Anyway, the project, as you can see, involves 3 universities, Concordia, McGill, and ATS. And each part of the 3 project is being led by a university. All the students, which roughly around 20 students, are working at Siemens. These are master students, PhD students, as well as undergrad students. So they're totally, physically now, virtually at Siemens, working on different projects. Next slide. It's an industrial chair, which I have it. And my job is to integrate all of that. Plus also I'm involved very much into the first project, which is about design. Next slide, please, Mustafa. So the first project is led by McGill, and it has to do with multidisciplinary design optimization, again, for industrial gas turbine. And I have 2 professors from McGill collaborating with me on this project. The next slide, please. This project, again, is related to manufacturing. Actually, Catherine Schmidt from Siemens, she is leading that project, and ATS is leading it. Professor Antoine Tahan from ATS is leading it. And you can see on the slide here, the various technology which is related to automation, digitization in Siemens. Siemens is an excellent company to look at the whole integration of Industry 4 technology, because there are about 500 people, as some of you are aware, in Côte de l'Est, and they have the design organization as well as the manufacturing, assembly, test, supply chain. So it's a total integrated enterprise with a very reasonable size to be able to see the value added of that. The third project, which is the next slide, please, Mustafa. It is on the supply chain, which is having a digital platform for supply chain optimization. And it is led by Concordia, Professor Nadia Bouyan. ETS also is involved. And you can see here the different circles, the various projects which are being carried again, as I mentioned, at Siemens. This program is roughly about $7 million over 5 years. Siemens contribution is almost like over $1 million, about $2 million. Plus also we get the leverage of MyTax and insert into this project. And again, as I mentioned, it started in 2018 and it goes to 2023. Feedback from Siemens has been excellent, and I guess lots of this information is public information through the publication of paper and master and PhD dissertation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor, for the presentation. So because of the amount of time, thank you, Jen, for joining in. I know it was a bit a cappella, but we have to to go. So basically, we'll just you'll be presenting right after Professor Soumaya Yakout. So yeah, still have like a few minutes, but we're still welcome. And so if Professor Soumaya, if you want to go ahead, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I will share with you my presentation now. Nothing?
We see something, but it's not the...
It's not the presentation.
Yeah, it's the wrong window.
Okay, I have to go now. Yes, I have to go now. I will put the presentation.
Yeah.
Now, can you see the presentation?
Yep.
Okay, can you see it?
Yeah, now we can see it, but now you put back the window.
Yeah, okay, because if I, okay, I will put it back. Here, you can see it now.
Yep, everything is good now.
Okay, thank you very much. I will show you 4 slides. The first one will be more of a macro projects that we have, and the 3 others are really, I will go into the micro level to show you that sometimes the problems that need innovation to more small problems than big problems, and that the details to which we have to go and find solution are sometimes very deep. So the first slide that I'm showing you, this is a big project that has been submitted to the Canadian Innovation Funds in order to build cyber-physical system platforms and test beds at 6 universities in Quebec. The test beds will be used to create a distributed platform for the many research topics. What you can see now in green, in red, and in blue. These projects cover subjects like smart product design and manufacturing, smart value chain network, and agile and adaptive cyber-physical manufacturing system. This research will be oriented towards collaborative partnership with the industry to produce innovative applications for Industry 4. This is what I call Industry 4 Plus, because we have to be careful when we say Industry 4 or digital transformation. It does not include necessarily artificial intelligence, but our project will all have to use artificial intelligence. So now I will go to the second slide and show you one of the projects that are ongoing now, and in which my team of research was and still are involved. Here, I would like to talk about data sustainability. And what I mean by data sustainability is how we can, before anything else, how can we make sure that our data will be used for a long time and will be useful for a long time. As you all know, the Industry 4 is about connectivity. Connectivity means more data, and more data means applications or using the data that are available for us, and this is for better performance. So one of the examples that I'm giving you now is to show you how difficult sometimes simply to get the data and to make it sustainable. So I am taking 2 examples in the end of the spectrum of data availability. The first one, it's a system heavily dependent on human expertise. In this case, this is the most difficult case where we can find data which are very dependent on a human, and maybe it is not very sustainable. I take as an example every kind of maintenance center where we have machines to inspect products, but the result of the inspection is based on human expertise. So the first thing that we have to do is to make sure that we have a data flow and we have a entity relationship diagram to make sure who is using what and producing what from the point of view of data and knowledge. This data relationship will lead us to facilitate defining the relationship and provide better understanding of information, improve data quality, and control data redundancy, and enforce integrity constraints. Now I will show you quickly some kind of data that are usually present and we can available in this kind of systems. But what the only thing I want you to see is that this data, we may have a lot of data, but it is not usable for learning, for artificial intelligence. So it is useless from the point of view of artificial intelligence. So now I will go to the second example, which is on the other end of spectrum of digital transformation and machine learning. And in this case, I am talking about how to use machine learning, artificial intelligence for condition monitoring, diagnosis, and prognosis. And what is important in this system, it is a system that is heavily dependent on sensors measurement. So it is the other spectrum compared to the first system, which is dependent on human expertise. This system is excellent and it is optimal to be used with machine learning and with artificial intelligence. I give you as an example electrolyzers. Here we have many electrolyzers. And Jean-Philippe, s'il vous plaît, si je suis en retard, laissez-moi savoir parce que j'ai la présentation devant moi et non pas votre visage.
Ouais, il reste 1 minute, so 1 minute left.
Okay, so here you can see what is important, that there is a certain variabilities, and what you can see on the right, the decoder here, is how we can use these signals to, you see the points that is, and in the figure, the points are predictions, while the hard lines are the real. So you can see how we can predict in this system in a very accurate way. The last slide, and please stop me, Jean-Philippe, when I finish my time. This is what I call Industry 4+. It aims at a system, complex system, intelligence, autonomy, and resilience. This means resilience may mean we are hoping to find a system that is capable of correcting itself independently and autonomously. This will be very helpful for something like COVID-19 now, where the machines, we are hoping that the machines will work autonomously, correct any kind of anomalies autonomously, and until a human can interfere. In this case, we are using digital twin for real-time optimization. We are combining cyber-physical system with artificial intelligence and with the digital twin. I can finish now, and this way I will not take more than my time. And if you have any questions, I will be happy to discuss it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's extremely interesting, Professor Soumaya. Very interesting. So now we're gonna jump to the second section, a bit more about like with the superluster, a bit like on the reverse pitch side. Well, she's gonna do 2 in 1. She's gonna present a bit what NGen is doing. So like, hi Jen, welcome back. We're becoming good friends now.
It's good to see you again.
Yeah, likewise. So yeah, feel free to just present a bit NGen what it is, and yeah, if you have like the project that you want to present just before after the startup, we're trying to solve it for you. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks. So glad to have so many great faces here. So one of the things that I'd like to talk to you about is kind of how NGen works and how we do project intake and how we like to collect and support these fantastic ideas. So all of our project funding is tied to ideas around advanced manufacturing that are collaborative. So projects that bring in expertise from across multiple companies, and then bringing in expertise from academic institutions as well, wherever possible. So the interesting thing about the funding is that it does have to be more than one for-profit partner working together, which is kind of an interesting space for most companies. It's not usually something that they're comfortable with, and it's part of the growth that we're trying to instill in the manufacturing community by helping companies to move beyond what I would say is, just a typical subcontractor relationship to a real partner relationship where companies are pulling together for a common goal. And rather than seeing each other as competitors within Canada, we see each other as partners on the global stage. So it's kind of that growth mindset change that we're trying to instill and making sure that Canadian companies, we really do, we're a small economy. We are small on the global stage. If we're really going to compete and push Canada forward, we need to work together and bring the expertise that exists across all of our sectors to bear, and making sure that we're able to export and compete globally. So one of the things that we do in order to really foster that is we talk to companies, see what they have in mind, see what their challenges are, see what challenges they'd like to solve, and then bring them forward to present their project ideas with all of the gaps that they have, which also can be a little bit uncomfortable for companies to stand up and say, I don't have this all figured out, that we need help doing X, Y, and Z. And so we have a number of companies that have projects in mind that they're working on. They're all listed on NGen's collaboration corner, we call it. And they come out in our newsletters on an ongoing basis as well. So if you haven't joined as a member, I encourage you to do so, because then you'll get our newsletter and see all of those projects. So unfortunately, I don't have any of the projects ready. They couldn't join me today to talk about that. But one of the things that we are trying to do is to encourage more uptake on that collaboration corner. So if there's any ideas, if there's any projects that you want to respond to on that collaboration corner, please let me know. You can connect with me on LinkedIn, and the organizers certainly have my contact info so that I can be reached through them as well. And so if there's any questions on NGen and how the funding works, I'm happy to answer those, or I'm happy to turn it back over to you, Jean-Philippe, as well.
All right, thank you very much, Jen. If you want to share the link to the NGen corners, where there's the projects and stuff in the chat, so people actually could look at.
I will do so.
Perfect. So perfect. So now we're gonna jump to and also everybody, if you have any questions at all time, please write them in the chat. I think people are all aware of what's going on there, and also we'll answer them live as well if we do so. So thank you, Elias, for that fast NGen supercluster project link sharing. And now we're gonna jump to the startup presentation for all that. So there's different startups that are here. So I'll go with whatever is there. So I'll start with Alexandre Gervais from Haxio. So
awesome.
So all right.
Can everyone?
Yours. Yep.
Awesome. Give me a second. Okay, so usually you should be seeing the presentation.
Yep, all good.
Just please
sorry, Jean-Philippe, I have to.
So I cannot see your cameras. I have the presentation in front of me. So hi everybody. Thank you very much for having me. So my name is Alexandre Gervais, and I'm the CEO of Haxio. In these 3 minutes, what I'll do is I'll explain to you briefly our core technology. But since it's an event around the post-COVID-19 economy, I'll actually talk to you a bit more about the direct use case that we are doing for the post-COVID-19 world. So I'll focus a bit more on that. So at Haxio, our mission is to help manufacturers increase to facilitate their quality control by democratizing the access to machine vision solutions. So how we do it is through our core technology factory site, which is developed to be the easiest and most versatile deep learning-based vision software for quality control processes. Factory site is a solution of two products. You have the software, which again is deep learning-based vision software, and factory site, the edge computer, that allows to do both the AI training and inferencing on the edge. So with factory site, briefly, we innovated on three fronts, on three levels. First, on a technological level, by, among other things, integrating continual learning technology in order to allow manufacturers to improve their vision system over time continually, even though they have a small data set in the beginning. We worked a lot on the user experience. We believe in a world in automation will be self-deployed by manufacturers for manufacturers. So our systems are self-deployable in less than 30 minutes, no coding skills required. And finally, on a business level, as we realized that for SME manufacturers, one of the main block is the CapEx pricing model of current offering. We work on an OpEx business model so that it's more affordable and scalable for manufacturers. What I'll present to you is the main use case of the application of factory site in a machine that we developed, which is the first FDA compliant automated inspection system for pre-filled syringes. If the first based on deep learning and inline production. So as you can understand, when it comes to syringes, manufacturers need to validate and ensure that there's no particle or contaminants inside the solutions, of course. But now on the market, they have two options. Either they go with the inline belt conveyor system that's affordable, but only inspects surface defect, or they go with a very expensive multi-million-dollar machine that does inspect particle inside the liquid, but of course are very expensive. At Haxio, we provide a third option by developing this automated machine powered by factory site's deep learning. So I'll just demo you briefly the main steps of this turnkey solution. So first you have the syringes entering the machine. The syringes will be tracked all along their journey inside the machine. So it's a self-auditing machine, if I may. Second is the spinning station. So the syringes are spinned in order to lift particles from the bottom of the syringe and also to remove air bubbles to increase the precision rate of the inspection. Third is the most important. So here, images are captured from three different imaging systems, and the images are compared to, of course, the data set. And using deep learning algorithms, we are able to detect contaminated syringes versus conformed one. And finally, here you have the rejection station, where either the syringes are conformed or they are rejected to the defect bin or the uncertain bin. We created this uncertain bin in order for operators to validate that the images classified as uncertain can then be validated and relabeled in order to input them into our continual learning algorithm in order to improve the system over time. So to conclude here, our automated system machine so far has reached a performance of 120 products per minute at an accuracy of around 98%. We provide so far this machine for the saline syringe market, which is a $400 million market, which we have already secured nearly $1 million of that. But soon enough, in 2021, that's the most important, we plan on providing this system for the intravenous market, and among other things, of course, hopefully the COVID-19 vaccine, if we have one, and we certainly hope so. We plan on being the main supplier for validating the quality of vaccines, among other things, COVID-19. So for now, that's it for me. Thanks you very much for listening to the presentation. Of course, I'll be in the booth later on today at Creative Collision. So if you want to discuss more about factory site or our syringe machine, please don't hesitate. It's going to be my pleasure.
Merci beaucoup, Alexandre. I don't know, Jen, if you have any project for QA syringes in your pipeline, but that could be something interesting.
Yeah, we have a couple of vaccine manufacturers we're working with, so there might be something we should talk about.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you. All right,
Awesome.
let's go to the next one. So I'll go with Félix. So Félix, ça va? You're muted or we don't hear you.
Good. Je vais présenter mon écran. Est-ce que vous voyez la présentation?
All good. All good. Fait que quand t'es prêt, floor is yours.
Good. Thank you very much. So my name is Felix. I'm a CEO and co-founder of Grad4. I previously worked at Bombardier Aerospace. And what really surprised me is the tool that procurement use. So they basically haven't changed in the past 20 years. Basically for tracking, they use Excel spreadsheet, outdated list, and a lot of handwritten notes. And to communicate with potential suppliers, they have email, phone calls, and even faxes. So this process is inefficient and take a lot of time. The reality of the buyer is you need to find quality parts at a good price and on delays. To do that, they spend an average 8 hours over a week, and then they contact around 5 suppliers. So they ended up not paying optimal prices for part and sometimes have quality issues. So we created an online platform that enables the buyer to connect, find, and collaborate with the right suppliers. We give access to our network of qualified suppliers. We allow the buyer to save time and basically easily compare different options directly on the platform. So here's how it works. The buyer characterize them. With that, he's able to do a request for quotation. This will then be accessible on what we call the marketplace. Every qualified supplier can access those opportunities, select the ones that are related to their expertise and that interest them, and they give the prices and delays. Again, everything is done directly on the platform, and afterwards the buyer can select the suppliers who he wants to work with. This creates perfect connection between buyers and supplier. Here's a good example. ERP, one of our customers, they have their own procurement process on their own for some special parts. Over 2 weeks and 10 hours of working, they only found 2 quotes that weren't that competitive. They tried our solution. In less than 5 minutes, the request for quotation was on the marketplace. And the next day, they received 3 bids. All of them were cheaper, and the suppliers were pretty happy. So basically, in 5 minutes, they were able to save $31,000. And the supplier got a quality job that they couldn't access otherwise. The other great thing that we do is we enable the creation of a proximity supply chain. Vincent, another of our suppliers, had challenged with its suppliers in China. At first, they thought that Quebec wasn't competitive, but by trying our solution, they found 15 qualified suppliers that they were not aware of, selected one, and brought back a major production here in Quebec. So we currently have over 150 buyers using the software, over 60 suppliers, and ongoing pilot project with Association and Siemens. And the other thing that we did during COVID is we organized l'événement Le Salon Bleu with over 1,000 participants. We were able to create perfect connection between buyers and suppliers. So really, Grad4 tried to digitize the subcontracting process, create perfect connection, and simplify everything. Thank you.
Felix, thank you very much, Felix. Loud and clear. So, Jen, do you have anything in supply, procurement? All the manufacturing people have that problem. So, all of them. So,
right now. Yep.
yeah. So, Felix, and so feel free, like Jen just shared her LinkedIn. So, feel free, like to connect with her and see, like in her pipeline for something very interesting. So, thank you, Felix.
Great.
I'll go to Annie Cyr avec TENGIVA. Donc, quand tu es prête, floor is yours.
Merci. So I'll do it in English and I'll be going a cappella. So no presentation for this one. So hello everyone. I'm Annie Cyr. I'm the founder of TENGIVA. We are a solution that allows the digital transition of the oldest industry in the world the textile industry. To quickly introduce you to it, the textile global production is a $961 billion industry. And each year, a third of their production, which means more than $300 billion, is thrown away even before it gets transformed into a finished product. Why? Simply because their inventory management tools are outdated. For those who remember DOS systems, it's still widely in use. Also, the process to sell these wasted resources is highly time-consuming. So based on our combined 45 years experience in this industry, we've identified the repetitive components of the sales and supply processes, identified would be best suitable, and developed a unique data structure and algorithms. The result, we took a labor-intensive process that requires an average a month down to 5 days. But it doesn't stop there. In the textile supply chain, we have two parties, the suppliers, textile manufacturers, and the clients, which are apparel brands. And did you know that it's almost just as long to develop a car than a garment from the concept to the store? The bottleneck is mainly the fabric. And at Zara, they understood it. Producing textile requires minimum quantities, time, and many disconnected stakeholders. So that's where we come in. We built our technology based on a two-sided marketplace business model to engage both parties together around already produced material. What it does is that it transforms the sampling process from a month-long and time-consuming process down to a one-click, 5-day process. And for the productions, as we handle large volume of in-stock textiles, it allows apparel brands to cut their sourcing process from a 3 to 6 months down to a 5 to 30 days, depending on the shipping option. If we consider that 17 to 20% of industrial water pollution comes from the textile finishing treatment, that's 7.9% of the global climate impact comes from the textile production, and that most of the discarded materials will be reproduced the year after, because let's face it, we don't reinvent the wheel when we produce a t-shirt. We have to optimize these resources to the maximum. And why not make it profitable for both parties while we're at it? So that's what we do at TENGIVA. And thank you very much for your time. And I hope you've enjoyed learning a little bit about the textile manufacturing and how we can improve it.
Oh, merci beaucoup, Annie. So I don't know, Jen, if you also you have like textile. I know I'm just like you have all the pools. You have all the pools of textile companies.
Yeah. We have, we're actually working on building a textile cluster of companies. And we're doing that pre-COVID. And then with COVID, there became a lot of more interest on automating fabric manufacture, especially relating to medical gowns and stuff. So I think there probably is something. I actually just found you on LinkedIn and sent you a connection request. So hopefully we can chat afterwards.
All right, thanks again, Jen. Merci beaucoup, Annie. Donc, last but not least, so Hamid Benayed from Dataperformers. So hi, Hamid, how you doing?
Hi, Jean-Philippe. Hi, everyone. You guys hear me?
Oui.
Oui, merci beaucoup. Thank you. Yeah, I just actually, my partner was supposed to be here, but just for me to be clear, I thought this was supposed to be a presentation for Siemens Energy. Am I right?
Yeah, so basically what happened is we're just like a teeny bit late, like just an hour and a half because of a little server problem. So yeah, so basically some of the people after 5, they couldn't make it.
No worries, yeah, because we just had like a small presentation for that, but you know, otherwise I can really present more general our company and also the different use cases that we worked on. And Jen, I'm definitely interested to speak with you also after, because I mean, we are involved already with Scale AI here. We have a couple of customers, and we have also prospects in Ontario that are thinking to file for NGen, it's going to be the first time for us. So we will be interested.
Perfect. And also, Amit, if you want, like for Catherine Schmidt, who was supposed to be here for Siemens, it's like I know her very well. So basically, if you want me to connect you or send a presentation to her, like just send it my way and.
Absolutely, yeah, that would be great. Merci, thank you. Yes.
No problem. So yeah, the floor is yours. So.
All right, amazing.
Go ahead.
So my name is Amin. I'm the co-founder of Dataperformers. We are specialized in applied artificial intelligence, and particularly in manufacturing, supply chain, and aerospace industries. Of course, we've worked with other industries, like Desjardins is one of our clients, Invest Quebec is one of our clients, Autodesk is one of our clients, Canadian government also. Anyway, I can list like many of them, but basically what we built actually is an end-to-end inspection solution for complex needs. So what we are realizing, and this is one of the use cases that we work on, actually is with Toyota, Centech, is that these manufacturing companies, they have inspection challenges, and it's not always about like hardware or like trying to acquire hardware, especially for their specific needs. We've been able to build this AI-based infrastructure, which is really hardware agnostic. We can work on really different types of cameras, which makes the costs of implementation really low, but also we can deploy this in different production lines very fast. Until now, we worked a lot on automotive components. So automotive is definitely one of the sectors that we are targeting. Semiconductors as well, with semiconductors manufacturers. And also, we had a solution today for Siemens. I can share with you later, Jean-Philippe, also the presentation. Yeah, the idea for us, again, is really to make this really straightforward for manufacturers. Of course, it's a solution, not a product, so it takes some integration phase in the beginning, but not too long. We are speaking about a few weeks before it becomes fully operational. Let me see if I get anything else here. Yeah, and that's actually mostly it. It's about, of course, detecting defects again in different components. And I would be really glad to show you actually a demo of our solution and as well carrying on our discussion. So thank you so much.
Thank you, merci beaucoup, Amin, merci beaucoup. So for sure, like inspection. So I'm actually unmuting all of you guys. So there are a lot of opportunities. So like we've seen, like even with Professor Sumaya's, even me on my side, it's like I would like to know more about what you're working on, because I think there's different things we could not spin off but close by. Or let's say inspire new people with your work to bring that towards more like the industry and help it like giving. So I think it's very interesting subjects. Actually, I really like it, and so for sure, like I'll introduce you guys together, and for sure, like I think with the few people left, there's not that many questions, but I think. Just if there's any of you want to ask questions to any of you guys, like go ahead. It's time, but kind of introduce a little bit yourself anyway, because for sure all the manufacturing with NGen and also even with Centech, so we're really starting to work closer. So it's going to be more upcoming. Let's put it that way. But it's. Really to bring that synergy to bring like the great technologies to the market, and those who are looking, the technology seekers as well, like to have an easy way to take the leap of faith, we put it that way, in terms of like taking the first chance with the younger, smaller companies, but that actually can bring them a big benefit. So I don't know if any of you wants to add anything. Can
I have a question?
Sure.
Can I ask a question? I would like to ask a question to Jen about NGen. And I think that most of the people that are here, we are always looking for funds. So it will be maybe interesting for everyone. If you can tell us very briefly the process to get funds from the point of view for universities and for startups, because we have with us many startups.
Yeah, for sure. That's a great question. So the process is very similar to typical grant applications. There's a proposal that is drafted, it's submitted online, it goes out for external assessment. We actually pay our assessors, which is a little bit different from academia. I think that all assessors should be paid personally, but we pay them because they all have to sign pretty airtight NDAs. So there's some risk that they take on by being an assessor. So we do compensate them for their time on that. But also because of that, we can expect some pretty tight turnaround times. So we tend to get a response back to applicants within 2 to 3 weeks of the time of submission, if not faster. During COVID and for the COVID funded projects, we were turning around assessments in under 36 hours. So it was pretty intensive, and we got funding out the door really quickly. So the way that the funding flows, that has also been changing with COVID. Typically, our projects are funded on a reimbursement type basis. So every quarter, companies would submit their expenditures that you had that were related to the project. And then we would send back the appropriate percentage depending on the stream of funding. For most projects, it's 50%. So you would submit your receipts of what you'd spent, and then we would send you half of that value back in cash. With COVID, we moved to an advancement model. So based on the cash flow that you had planned for the project, we were actually fronting funds out to companies so that you didn't have to try and cash flow all of the expenses of the project. And that may stick around. It's still happening now, but it's kind of we'll see how that progresses. It took some special permissions from the Government of Canada to allow us to do that. So we're hoping that that stays. For academia, so our funding is specifically targeted to industry and to for-profit agencies. The only time we can fund not-for-profits is when it's a group that is not primarily funded by government. So say business associations or things like that are funded by their members, we can potentially provide funding to them. But for academia, how we've typically set it up is that the academic researcher is included as a subcontractor in the project. So their expenses are included as kind of a line item in the company's budget, and then the company is reimbursed for that funding. We also work closely with other funding agencies like MyTax. I used to work at MyTax, so I know them very well. And so we try and bring in a MyTax funded project to support the academic research as much as possible. So we're kind of layering the funding as appropriate.
Thank you.
Good, thanks.
Jean-Philippe, I also have a question if you don't mind. Yeah, my question is to Jen. So thanks for that first answer. My question is, aside from funding, how does NGen help businesses that have a technology and manufacturers be in contact? And how does NGen help also between startups and big manufacturers? Because sometimes the process of getting a new technology is long, difficult, paperwork after paperwork sometimes. So yeah, how does NGen helps open innovation for startups?
That's a great question. So we try and do connections as much as possible. So myself and the team, we are out talking to people and talking to companies all the time, and trying to find those, find the holes and plug them with Canadian technology wherever possible. So sometimes it is very organic in that, it's based on the Rolodex that's in my head and talking to the companies and knowing what their needs are and saying, oh my goodness, you need to talk to such and such company, they have the perfect solution, and then making those connections directly. And sometimes it turns into a funded project, sometimes it turns into a project proposal, and sometimes it doesn't. And that's totally fine. we see it as a success as long as the companies are now working together, talking to each other, and getting that technology adopted. We are also looking at ways that we can more directly foster that technology adoption. And that's kind of where the feasibility studies and pilot projects that we have come in, because we can do smaller amounts of funding, kind of first customer type adoption, and do some of those introductions for first customers. Because we're talking to the large players in manufacturing on an ongoing basis, we can kind of have their ear to say, hey, you should really talk to these guys because they've got something solid. And then they will look at it more closely. You can imagine the large players get inundated by requests. So they appreciate us kind of pre-vetting the companies and then passing over the really good ones. So we're happy to do that too, whenever we can.
Thank you for your answer.
Jen, I also have another question, please. In terms of location of these startups, like let's say, can NGen fund collaboration between Ontario-based company and Montreal-based company, or we need to be registered in Ontario?
No, it's national, wherever. My favorite project so far has two companies from Winnipeg, a company from Montreal, and a company from Atlantic Canada. So it can be, and we love those that show that really national collaboration. It's great if it's two companies in their own backyard, but even better if it's that national mandate.
Yeah,
thanks, Evan, for the question. I had the same.
Yeah, because also like the supercluster, a bit like Scale AI and NGen and all the others that exist throughout Canada, it's like a Pan Canada. It's throughout Canada, so you just have to be in Canada or have a foot in Canada. So that's they all apply to that. Yeah.
Can you give us the link to where we can go to read more about the eligibility and the process and so on? If you can write it on the chat. Someone was writing now. Thank you.
Perfect. Otherwise, any last question? Otherwise, I will re-give the opportunity so people who want just to give just announce something. So I saw like Felix, you mentioned there will be another Salon Bleu, so I don't know if you want to quickly talk about it, and anybody else wants to say, like, if they have like a webinar coming, information session coming, like, feel free, I will give you. So Felix, go ahead with the Salon Bleu.
Thank you for the opportunity. So basically, the Salon Bleu was the biggest manufacturing event in Quebec. We organized that over 30 days. And the goal was just to create connection between people from the manufacturing industry, knowing that direct contact wasn't an option anymore. It was a great success. A lot of participants. Alexandre was one of them. And it worked, so we'll do the same thing in September. You can contact me on LinkedIn for more information. We have a page for Le Salon Bleu, and really the goal is to create connection between the people from the manufacturing industry. So thank you, Jean-Philippe, for the opportunity.
My pleasure, my pleasure. I don't know, Jen or Jen, do you want to? But well, you've been re-sharing the link, which is great because it's an awesome. I think it's especially for around our ecosystem. So manufacturing is very strong here in Quebec as well. So I think that's why all the financing all the funding, just the connection. I think it's awesome. I don't know if you want to share a bit more stuff. If you have webinar information session, like. Or you can share the links. We've seen 3 links so far for different avenues. Otherwise, Alexandre, do you want to share anything?
Yeah, well, 2 things on my side. First, for the syringe inspection machine, we will deploy the first machine in September, and after that, it's ready for commercialization. So we're looking to be connected with other syringe manufacturers to help them on that side. And on the factory site software side, which is a cross-industry software for quality inspection, that will be officially released February 2021. So once again, that will be later to 2021, but we're already looking to discuss with manufacturers for beta testing and get feedback from industry experts. So yeah, factory side 2021 and the syringes for 2020.
Perfect. Annie Cyr ou Amine, anything you want to add, announce? Non, pour Annie, merci, super. Pour Amine aussi, merci, super. Oui, Hélène, oui, donc, oui, bonjour Hélène. Oui, vous pouvez vous présenter, puis allez-y, vous poser votre question, vous présenter ou faire l'offre, allez-y. Quoi.
Non, c'est juste pour présenter rapidement. C'était pour ça
Oui.
que j'étais restée dans la salle. Donc, Hélène Fortier du Conseil de recherche en sciences naturelles et génie du Canada, NSERC. Nous, c'est ça, on encourage les collaborations de recherche entre les chercheurs, collèges universitaires et les entreprises ou les organisations à but non lucratif, ministères et compagnie. On a 1 milliard de budget par année. Là-dessus, il y a la nouvelle subvention Alliance avec des chercheurs universitaires où on subventionne de 20 000 à 1 million de dollars par année pour un minimum de 1 an, maximum de 5 ans. L'argent va toujours aux chercheurs, mais ce qui est intéressant dans le cas des entreprises aujourd'hui, c'est que les entreprises en démarrage qui ont au moins 2 employés à temps plein sur leur feuille de paie sont admissibles. Donc ça devient assez intéressant. Et pour des petits projets, ça prend 1 mois de traitement de demande. Puis on demande à l'entreprise d'investir la moitié de ce qui est demandé au CRSNG dans le projet de recherche pour des petits projets. Avec les chercheurs collégiaux, pour terminer, c'est ça, là, il faut avoir au moins 2 ans d'opération en plus des 2 années, des 2 employés. Puis les subventions peuvent aller jusqu'à 150 000 $ par année pour un maximum de 3 ans. Si vous avez des questions, je pense que je suis sur le chat un peu partout, donc vous pouvez communiquer avec moi. Alors voilà, je vous écoute si vous avez des questions.
Super, merci beaucoup, Hélène. Aussi, s'il y a un lien que tu veux partager aussi dans le chat, comme pour aller avoir plus d'informations. So if there's a link you can share about the Answer Calendar programs you just mentioned. Merci beaucoup. Donc ça, c'est plus facile. So thank you, Jen, for to share the joining your super cluster, joining your members group. Again, it's free, so it's always in the good fee amount that people like to pay. So, Professor Sumaya, last thing, if you're looking for anything from students, startup technologies, floor is yours again. Floor is yours. If not, it's fine as well. So, all right. So I guess we're all done here. So merci. Huge thank you for those who of course it was very late for big technical issues that was out of our hands, but thank you very much for staying. Thank you for the content, sharing everything. So I invite you guys to go for the networking or the expo for those who are still there. Donc merci beaucoup à tout le monde d'avoir été là. Puis il reste le réseautage puis l'expo pour tous ces gens-là. Donc merci beaucoup. Puis
merci.
Au plaisir.
Merci.
Au plaisir. Bye à tout le monde. Bye. Bon. Salut à tous.